King Charles very unwell, but determined to win cancer battle as palace reportedly begins planning monarch's funeral. While multiple sources have said King Charles is optimistic about his health, it has been claimed the monarch's condition is dire and funeral plans are underway. A source has claimed Buckingham Palace has actively been preparing for King Charles' funeral amid bombshell allegations the monarch's health is rapidly deteriorating. Buckingham Palace announced in February King Charles had been diagnosed with cancer after he underwent a corrective procedure for an enlarged prostate at the London clinic, catapulting royal fans into hysteria. The 75-year-old monarch has since stepped away from the public eye and royal engagements while undergoing cancer treatment. Multiple sources have now told the Daily Beast that while the monarch is determined to beat cancer, he is facing a declining health. Everyone is staying optimistic, but he is really very unwell, a person claiming to be an old friend of the royal family told the outlet. Of course, he is determined to beat it and they are throwing everything at it. Behind the scenes, Charles' seemingly poor health has promoted Buckingham Palace officials to regularly update a several hundred-page document outlining the monarch's royal funeral plans. Royal aides have dusted off the extremely detailed plan dubbed Operation Menai, named after the suspension bridge connecting the island of Anglesey with the Welsh mainland. The plans have been dusted off and are actively being kept up to date, a former royal told the Daily Beast. It's no more than what you would expect given the king has been diagnosed with cancer. Military officials confirmed Operation Menai was being repeatedly updated but emphasized planning for the worst was what the military do given the grand scale of the monarch's impending funeral. Of course they are looking at every aspect of Menai. The Queen's funeral went like clockwork and set a high bar, a senior official told the Daily Beast. Serious planning for Charles' funeral began the day after the late Queen Elizabeth was buried on September 8, 2022. It uses the Queen's funeral plan, dubbed Operation London Bridge, as a field guide to ensure it would run smoothly. The former Prince of Wales has never revealed the type of cancer he was diagnosed with, although he has declared it was not prostate cancer. Buckingham Palace has since remained tight-lipped about the king's medical journey, but well-placed insiders and political commentators have publicly said the monarch was responding really well to cancer treatment. King Charles' funeral plans reportedly being updated after cancer diagnosis. Buckingham Palace officials are regularly updating a plan of action for King Charles' forthcoming funeral after royal sources have revealed that the monarch's condition is gradually declining. According to insiders, preparations for the funeral have been in motion since the day after the late Queen Elizabeth was buried in 2022. The 75-year-old royal has been keeping a low profile since his cancer diagnosis announcement in February to hide his worsening health, with several insiders telling the Daily Beast the current situation is not good. Of course, he is determined to beat it and they are throwing everything at it. Everyone is staying optimistic, but he is really very unwell. More than they are letting on, an old friend of the royal family told the publication. It hasn't been disclosed what cancer Charles has been diagnosed with, but he did reveal that it wasn't prostate cancer, which is one of the most treatable forms of the disease. The palace has remained mostly silent regarding the king's treatment journey, however. Well-placed sources and political commentators have revealed that Charles is responding really well to his cancer treatment. However, not all is as it seems, with Charles' aides constantly looking over copies of a several hundred-page plan detailing his official funeral plans, titled Operation Menai. The plans have been dusted off and are actively being kept up to date. It's no more than what you would expect given the king has been diagnosed with cancer. But the circulation of them has certainly focused minds, a former palace staff member with links to the serving courtiers told the outlet. The comprehensive document was created the day after the late Queen was buried on September 8, 2022, and uses the former monarch's funeral as a guide to ensure Charles' ceremony runs without hitches. Military officials confirmed the news to the Daily Beast, saying that Operation Menai is being frequently updated. However, they iterated that it was standard procedure according to royal practices and that it would be absurd to read anything into the funeral plans. All members of the monarchy have regularly updated funeral plans that are named according to famous bridges in the United Kingdom, with the late Queen's funeral arrangements famously known as Operation London Bridge. Charles, formerly known as the Prince of Wales before ascending the throne, has a funeral plan named after the suspension bridge connecting the island of Anglesey with the Welsh mainland. Of course, they are looking at every aspect of Menai Bridge. The Queen's funeral went like clockwork and set a high bar. It's not an emotional thing, it's a job, one taken very seriously, and understandably no one plans to get caught out, a senior aide involved in the funeral planning of royals revealed. Another palace aide said that planning for the worst is what the military do. You've got to remember the scale of this thing. The Household Division, under Major General James Bowder, take the lead. That is 7 regiments of guards. Then you have the entire London district, the Territorial Army regiments, and the Royal Horse Artillery. That's before you get to the Navy or Air Force. Charles was closely associated with the Parachute Regiment for years, so they will be involved. That's just the ceremonial end, they added. Then you need a giant security operation because every VVIP on the planet is there. We're talking everything from missile defense to guarding against a lone wolf attack. The whole thing goes from flash to bang in under 2 weeks, which means every aspect of it needs to be meticulously planned in advance. Serious planning for Charles' funeral began the day after they buried the Queen. The King's officials did not respond to requests for comment from Page Six or the Daily Beast.